run, two, come, let's go. I said 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 run, two, come, let's go.
What up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in. Today, I'm gonna let you a little bit into my world. I know I be putting stuff up, teaching, kicking it a little bit, but today, what I'm gonna attempt to do is try to teach you how to research. This is basic research. How to basic research to see and understand how politics, the world, and the stock market affects us as a community. I want to kind of show you how the economy, how politics, how history shapes the world. And people are moving toward pushing history. They're moving toward allowing their name to be solidified, while other people are just wasting time or surviving. Nothing wrong with trying to survive, but for those that's doing more than surviving, you know, in our community, we got to step it up. We could do way more. We could do way more, especially since everybody talking about being on this new wave. Now, first thing I want to do before I get started is reference. I'm going to be reading out of the Washington Post. It's going to be a couple of articles. Yeah, the Washington Post, I do read newspapers. So it's going to be 2 articles out of the Washington Post I'm going to be referencing. Also, you might hear me say some things referencing to some theories, ideologies, as well as some truths that you need to research on your own. So I will be referencing a couple of people. I'll be referencing Sarasun Seti, so check his website out. I will also be referencing YP Young Pharaoh. So if you hear me say something along those lines as far as something you heard on their sites, because you know I've been liking Seti for a long time. I saw Pharaohs come up, you know, as well as some others. But these 2 right here, especially Pharaoh, you know, they got the baton. So check them out. So what I want to do is just let you in my world a little bit. So the first article talks about how by 2035, California don't want to sell no more cars. No more cars that's powered by gas. So what they're looking forward to is electrical or other reusable fuels that won't pollute the air, that won't kill the environment. So what they're trying to do is have forward thinking, quote unquote, which is good. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually a good thing. But I just want to show you, or attempt to show you, how all these dots connect while we just stuck in the middle trying to survive. So California, the state. Now, did you know California, if you do your research, California is like the 5th largest economy. When you talk about piloting, I don't even want to call it a program. I'm going to just say a change. When you're talking about piloting a change that significant, that's going to affect a lot of people. And what happens is other states or other countries, but I'm just going to say other states, are going to watch what California is doing, and they're going to follow suit. Now, just to give you some insight, when we're talking about cars, you know, it's millions of people in California. Millions. Really, that could be a country within itself. A nice small country within itself. A nice sized country within itself. So when you look at an economy that big, an economy of that size as a test pilot, and it becomes successful, or you actually see change happening, other smaller states or other smaller economies are going to follow suit. So, for the environmentalists, yay! Yay! We finally made progress. For the people that's tired of paying for gas, yay! We don't have to worry about these fluctuations. Yay! We don't have to worry about getting charged double the price on pipes they built 50 years ago. Yay! And for the people right now that have cars powered by gas, it's actually a good thing as well, because what's happening is gas prices are plummeting. Gas prices are plummeting. Stockpiles of gas is being filled up and like put underground or put in places where it could be stored. Why? Because demand is down. Because other places, I'm not going to say what places, but other places are looking to replace gas. Now, you might say, wow, that's a great thing, which it is, but we got to connect these dots. So, if you do some research, look at YP's website or SETI's website, they both, and if you do your own research, I've done my own, but I'm just going to reference them in case somebody try to, hey, I heard that on his site, whatever. But I like them dudes. They doing good work. So they both talk about the zodiac cycle. They both talk about, actually, SETI talks about the ages, like the Iron Age, the Golden Age, the Silver Age. And YP also talks about how time, how the Caucasian created time as being linear, but actually it's circular, 360 degrees. Now check his website for that information. So what happens is, if you actually do your own personal research, time has to happen, but the way that we reference it is not correct. Now, what the heck does that have to do with anything we talked about gas? This is why. So when we look at time and we look at the ages, and if you look at your quote-unquote Bible, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. The first shall be last and the last shall be first, which means it's going to continue to be circular. It's going to continue to flip-flop. It's not going to flip-flop this way. It's going to flip-flop this way. The first shall be last and the last shall be first. So whoever was on the bottom is going to be on top. Whoever's on the top is going to be on the bottom. Now, when you look at the cycle or the cyclical cycle of just how the universe works, you know, the earth spins on its axis. It goes this way. When water goes down a drain, it goes this way. If a car is trying to roll, it rolls. It rolls the same way. You never seen a car tires actually rolling backwards but moving forwards. So when you look at the laws of physics, you have to have, I don't want to say propulsion because that would be fuel, but you have to have rotation in order to actually move a wheel, unless you pick it up. But I'm saying rotation. What does that have to do with gas? Now, I'm connecting the dots for you. So what happens is, if you look at the cycles of the zodiac sign and you look at how ages work, we have been in the dark ages for the last 6,000 years. And if you go to SETI's site, he talks about how right now we're on an incline. How we're on an incline to get back to the Bronze Age, to get back to the Silver, and then get back on top. See, the thing about the individuals in power, they're very, very, very intelligent, intellectually. I didn't say they're very spiritual. That's us. They're very intellectual, though. They're very, these individuals are geniuses. So, what happens, and what's happening literally right now, we're going into the age of Aquarius. If you don't know what that is, look it up. So we're going into the age of Aquarius, which means we're coming out of our 6,000 years, or we're coming out of our negative, bad state, and we're back actually on the incline. That's why you see more black individuals, I want to say melanated, individuals becoming more quote unquote woke. Because if you go to YP's site, he talks about the way that you come to Earth when you're born through the quasars and how you have to pass through a certain spectrum of light. What the heck does that got to do with gas? What does that have to do with anything? We have not been taught this stuff. For those that have been privy for a while, we have been blessed. We either knew somebody, had an interest, the universe put it in us, or we stumbled upon it. But for those that have been privy, which would be Caucasoids or Caucasians or other individuals, Asians, people who are quote unquote not native of America, a lot of them. A lot of these individuals are still tied to these cycles. They have been taught this information. See, with us, we're too busy being entertained. We're too busy being distracted. We are too busy having response conditioning to what ding. Oh, it's a post. I wonder who posted. Let's see here. Oh, man, did you see that fight today? Oh, check that out. Oh, wow. Oh, look. Man, homie got shot today. Did you hear about that bank robbery? Hey, oh, you see them girls twerking? Hey, such and such got a new CD coming out. Oh, man, that's hot. CD. A new song coming out. See, that's what we're doing. We're more focused on what shows coming out next. What this start doing. What that start doing. And we'll get into that another time. We are being distracted purposely. Not just for an evil plot. I'm not going to say that. I can't blame it on conspiracy, but it's definitely part of it. But part of the other half of the conspiracy that you would say is profit. We are cogs in the wheel for profiteers. We are the sheep. We are the flock. They come out and they sprinkle seeds out to see different kind of seeds out to see which ones we bite on. To keep us fed enough to be distracted from how great we really are and how great we shall be. We're too focused on things on a lower level frequency, on the lower chakra frequency. Do your research on that. We're too focused on, I'm going to just keep it plain, on lower level stuff. Lower level stuff, you know what I mean. We're too focused on that instead of being focused on stuff that affects our heart, our family, the way we feel about each other, as well as our heads on how we could elevate. So, for us, if you look at the rate of how we're living, look at our health. It ain't good. It ain't good. Look at our relationship, marriage. 50%, 52% divorce rate. That ain't good. When you look at the way our children are being educated, I teach in schools. I teach in high schools, elementary schools. I even teach in colleges, jails as well. So I see the IQ standard going down. For individuals that have been blessed with good genes to be smart, they're going to make it because their common sense is going to be way beyond the average individuals who need to learn and study. But the IQ of the average individual is plummeting. You know why? What we're feeding our brains, what we're feeding our body, it's lowering our frequency. We're not exercising, which means we're not going outside. We're not getting the proper blood flow. We're not getting enough sun. Sun is vitamin D, amongst other things. But if you don't get enough sun, vitamin D, you become depressed. That's why individuals that live on the West, like up in Oregon and different places up that way, I have a friend in Oregon, so I can reference that. I have a friend up there and it's gloomy and it's rainy a lot, it's drizzly. And a lot of people up there are miserable because they don't get enough sun. It's always raining. Not saying rain is a bad thing, but not enough sunlight, especially for us because we're people of the sun, is going to make you depressed. People that work third shift know what I'm talking about. Also, we're always in the house. We're not going outside doing nothing. We don't even go outside, men, 100. We won't even go outside and wash our cars the way we used to. We would at least get some sun and exercise that way. Go outside, spray the car down, wipe it down, have the kids help us for a minute, play a little bit, wife outside watching, girlfriend, whatever you got, outside watching, y'all talking, having fun while you washing the car. That's social time. That's spending time with your kids, spending time with the wife. Y'all doing a joint activity. All y'all getting sun, and y'all could plan. If it's before dinner, what we doing after this? What we going to eat? So it's more time together. We don't do that no more. Guys, 100. Man, I just got off work. I'm tired. Roll through the car wash. Pay the money. No sun. Get out. Go straight in the house. Go straight in the house. So these individuals, I'm segueing back. Segueing back to California and the smart people. These individuals that are smart actually are the ones creating the cars or creating the economy, creating the way that we live. For reference purposes, I'm going to call us peons in the eyes of how they see us. I'm not going to say all, but how they see us. So we're cogs in the wheel. What is a cog? It's something to make the machine work. And the machine that's working is capitalism. Capitalism is the machine that's working. America is one big company. Period. There's different parts of that company. We'll get into that another time. But, so 2035, California wants to get rid of selling cars with fossil fuels. Now, you might say that's a great thing and California's doing a wonderful, wonderful thing. Hold up. Let's go to another reference. Now, I want to let you know this article that came out. Again, that was the Washington Post. That came out September 23rd, 2020, which was yesterday. Now, what I'm going to reference is an article from the Washington Post. And I just want to, if you ever go to the Washington Post, if you look at the top, listen. I'm telling you, all these dots connect. On their website, I'm looking at it right now. It says, the Washington Post. Right up under that, it says, democracy dies in darkness. What does that mean? It's subliminal messaging for the people that are in the know. Democracy dies in the darkness. Remember that cycle I was talking about? Remember the cyclical cycle I was talking about? Go to SETI's page and check it out. Sorry, SETI, I don't have the video. Maybe I'll find it and I'll put it up. So when you look at the cyclical cycle, right? Right now, we was in the dark ages. It's dark for us. And guess what's happening? Things are changing. So, quote unquote, our republic or democracy. We got a democracy or a republic. Either one, when you look it up, the bottom line is capitalism. So what I wanted to show you is this. It says it has ramped up investments consistent with the fund's mission, including renewable energy in Africa. Africa is the new U.S. Everybody's investing in Africa. You got rappers, you got other companies, you got skateboard companies, you got a bunch of companies. Basically, Africa is like, if you really think about it, it's like when the United States first started. Why? Because you got a lot of indigenous people that's living there. People still living in the jungle. People still living where they grew up. Some ain't got shoes. They ain't got housing. So think about all that development, all that land, all that opportunity over there. So the focus is shifting off of us for startups over there. Companies are being based there. That's another situation. But let's focus back and connecting these dots. So it ramped up its investments in Africa, workforce housing in the United States as well. Also, its services for the poor in India and Latin America, and the population control in Europe. Did you hear what that said? and population control in Europe to 178.2 million by March. Population control in Europe. This is the Rockefeller family. It's not me talking. It's plain as day right here. Now, in so many words, the reason why I'm giving you this information is this. Once a family is powerful as the Rockefellers, stop investing in oil, the world is shook. The world is like, oh snap, what's going on? If you're from the streets, that's like the Connect moving out of the country. You like, what in the world happened? Everybody's gonna know. Everybody's gonna feel it. So, in the stock market world where they invest in, the Rockefellers pull it out, everybody's feeling it. What are they doing? Because whatever they doing, they've made gazillions. Whatever they doing, I want to do. So as they're shifted away from fossil fuels, so are other companies and other countries. Whatever they're investing in, renewable energy, clean energy, other companies are following suit, which means fossil fuel prices are going to plummet. Demand is going to be low. I mean, we still going to drive, but other companies going to be looking for renewable ways to fuel cars and to fuel planes and things of that nature. So gas prices are going to fall. Now, do your own research to find what else they invested in. But when you look at the future, it's going to be renewable, which has to be electric. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So gas was hurting the earth. Gas was hurting the earth. Us burning it and putting it in the atmosphere, aerosol cans and all this stuff was hurting the earth, which means we were going against nature. We were killing nature, right? We were in the dark ages. So the earth was in the dark ages. So we were hurting the planet for these last 6,000 years. But now we on an incline again, like I've been saying, and we want to save the earth. There's an awakening. There's more light coming through the spectrum, the way the sun is hitting us. So we're becoming more enlightened. Everybody has to follow suit. So now they want to save the planet. It's time to save the planet. Interesting. Now, this is another aspect, and we're going to jump back to that. I know I'm all over the place, but you got to catch me. My brain works really fast. So I try to slow it down for you. Like I'll be reading 3, 4, and 5 articles at the same time, putting them all together. And then going to reference a book. But I had to slow down. And I'm trying to get this out to you as plain as day to try to open your brain up some, just a little bit. So now, check this out. I want you to pay attention. See, it's a lot of things in these articles. It's been about 3 different messages in one article. Here's another one that I want you to see as a melanated individual that's in a struggle or just existing, but trying to get to that next level. Next level is generational wealth level. So this next paragraph says, Valerie Rockefeller, a great granddaughter. Now listen, that's great granddaughter. So that's technically 1 generation, 2 generations, 3 generations, like 3.5 of John D. Rockefeller Sr. and chair of the Rockefeller Brothers Fund Board. Now remember, it's family members that are actually part of the Rockefeller Fund. Valerie is a chairperson on their board, which is family. Now, it says the board of trustees, they believe what they would approve. What they saying is their great-great-grandfather would approve of their move. Probably because what he's been teaching his people. Probably because the books he's been giving them. Probably because of the information that he's been fed some type of way for him to be this significant in history. It must continue. And he's told them now it's time for a change. But the key is, how do they know? How do they follow suit? For one, they didn't squander the wealth. They didn't squander the wealth. If you do your research on John D. Rockefeller, or any of the Rockefellers for real, they give away a lot of money. They've always have. He would give half his money away when he first started. His aunt taught him that. Got to read the books. But they've always gave away money. It's something with that as well. Now, they got family ties. They have a family business. They pass information down, and the people in the family follow suit. The great-great-granddaughter of John D. Rockefeller Sr. That means that wealth said, Guess what she's going to do? It's going to keep rolling. They're going to always be rich. And the more kids they have, they're spreading the wealth. They're spreading the wealth and information. For one, if we got a meal, we spending it up. We don't even know how to invest it. I'm not going to speak on all of us, but I've seen guys with a lot of money. They spend it up because they don't have the knowledge of it. I can't fault them because they ignorant of the fact on what to do with it, but they don't even go try to learn. If you got $1 million, why wouldn't you try to learn how to invest it or keep it safe or grow it? This family in particular has transferred generational wealth down. This family in particular is teaching their family members what to do with their money. They're showing and instructing family members what and how to give to help. They're showing other family members to get your mind out of this box and look at other countries. Like, they ain't even, like, it's guys that just love their neighborhood, which is nothing wrong with that, but they never leave. I was with a guy I grew up with. He was cool. I never hung with him, but he was around. He just was a cool dude. And one day, we was going to get some wings, and we was like, you want to roll with us? He was like, where y'all going? And we told him we was going out of the neighborhood up on the hill. He was like, man, I don't know. He was scared to leave the hood, but we took him. And when we got him up there, you know what he told me? He say, he say, man, I ain't left the pit in 2 years. He say, I ain't left the pit in 2 years, bro. This is the first time I've been out of the pit in 2 years. Which means where I stayed in the courts, it's like at the bottom of the West End of Cincinnati. But he ain't been away from there in 2 years. So it's guys that don't leave a block. So if all you see is the block, all you got is block thinking. And the sad part is we're not even capitalizing on the block the way other companies are. But anyway, other individuals. Why am I talking about this? Because on this incline and on this new wave that we on, quote unquote, that has to happen, we need to understand other individuals that are prominent in our history right now have used past history to become successful. And you know who was at the beginning of past history? We were melanated people. It's facts. It's been proven. Any science book will tell you the first individual was a melanated person from Africa, which is black. Now, we have lost our way by being distracted. You probably, while I'm probably talking to you right now, you hearing I don't want to say the name. You're hearing dings on your phone, distracting you away from what I'm trying to teach you. And the sad part about it is I just be trying to give you information that could help you. I understand the cycle that we in. I understand the frequency is different. I understand. I mentally love the 90s. So the best music is the 90s, period, to me. That's my frequency. That's the frequency that's going to resonate with me the most. The individuals that was stars and like really touched home. I ain't talking about like just no star on TV. I'm talking about lyricists, real artists, people that pushed the envelope, paved the way. In the 90s, those people are resonating with me. That's my frequency. The 2015 or the 2000 and up, that's a different frequency. It's a different frequency. It's just like with the auto-tune music. When Roger Troutman did it, he from Ohio. He used to be here in Cincinnati. He was in Dayton. But he didn't start it, but he innovated the talk box to a point it became auto-tune. And when Tupac did it, Dre did it on California Love, it really exploded. T-Pain and then everybody else, it was an explosion. But really, it's the 80s coming back around. That's really all it is, to be honest. That's a different frequency for me. I only can stand so many drowning robots. That's what it sounds like to me, drowning robots. I can only take so much of that. I can't even understand what you're saying. And my people from the South. Originally, that's where my ancestors, my folk people from. We get into that in another video. So I understand Southern language. But some of this stuff, man, y'all ain't even saying words for real. Y'all leaned out. What does this got to do with gas? I'm at the end. So what I wanted to show you is how world events are basically determined by powerful individuals whose decisions control the climate of the world. And you're not even on that frequency. You don't even tune in. Remember, y'all don't understand this, but we used to have to tune into the signal. We used to have to scroll back and forth on our radio. Oh, there it is. There. Yeah, there it go. Yeah. We used to have to find that frequency on the radio. Now you just hit a button, sit back and wait. We depend too much on technology. This is the most powerfulest thing on earth, our brains. You're not even using it. This is the first computer. The sad part about it is the powers that be understand and know that. And guess what they're doing? They're programming it. They are programming your computer and you're letting them. Would I call it a conspiracy? You can. Or will I call it being privy and just seeing if they could get it off? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go down that rabbit trail. Long story short, the Rockefeller family, who's together, who passed generational wealth down, is going to continue to do it, made a decision to uninvest or divest their funds out of fossil fuels into clean energy. At a time where we're on the incline to get the earth back together. We got to care for the earth. As they make that decision, other companies and countries are going to follow suit. The economy is going to be affected, and other companies are going to make those decisions. Now, what that got to do with me? What is a company? It's a place where people work. And you know why people work there? Because they got to eat or have a lifestyle or buy stuff. They got to buy stuff. So you go to work for these companies or for yourself, or you have to use these company products to exist. That's how it affects you. When gas prices plummet, people are going to lose jobs. When gas prices plummet, places of employment are going to close. When gas prices plummet, in that arena of our economy, things are going to change. As the article states, gas, fossil fuels, they at the bad end of history. They at the bad end of history. You pay gas and electric at home. How much money you gonna save instead of pumping gas in your house? You just pump it. We're just using all electric. We're gonna save tons of money. Where's all that gas gonna go? That's another video. Long story short, again, I'm going to just reiterate it one last time. One powerful family made a decision to uninvest in an industry that they almost pretty much created. They just took it over. They uninvested in it and invested in clean energy. Other companies, other countries, which is what the world is made up of, is going to follow suit. All these cars got to go somewhere that power gas. All this gas got to go somewhere. The world is going to change, whether you like it or not. From this one decision, it's going to change the world for the better, but it's going to literally change the world in a way that we have not seen before. This affects us directly. When you look at their family, what are they doing with the money? They're not tricking it off. They're not partying it up. They're not spinning it up and say, hey, you can't take it with you. No. They're investing it for their great granddaughters and sons. So basically the money they making now, not what they already had, what they're making now, along with what they accumulated, they looking 120 years out. Great grandkids. They're investing now, making good decisions for their great grandkids. We looking at next month. It's a problem there. It's a disparity. We got to fix that, y'all. We got to fix it. Instead of putting that money back in negative thing, we could read this and invest in clean energy. It's probably people still investing in fossil fuels. But without going into detail, Harvard, they say that's a good gesture for the Rockefellers to do that, but they're going to continue to invest in fossil fuels. And if you look at how much money Harvard got, that's billions of dollars. That being said, learn to connect the dots. Learn how astrology, learn how the newspaper, learn how these powerful families' decisions or people that move and shake the world operate, how this stuff is going to affect your life. We have to do this. I understand this is probably one of the reasons why the universe got me doing it, which I'm fine doing it. But we need others to come out and do the same. Not just for views. Do it to help us. The only way we going to come up is information and wisdom and knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, that's all I got for you today. Get off the computer as much. Or if you're on the computer, read some stuff. You know what I mean? I pretty much ain't got nothing else to say. Connect the dots. Hopefully it made sense to you. If not, maybe you got to blaze one or something. I don't know to understand it. But to me, it's common sense. So I'm just trying to get this information out to you. Again, like I said, my brain works fast. So I have to slow things down. So hopefully you got this. That being said, I appreciate your time and attention. Until next time, for those that are watching, thank you. Holla. Peace.
Run, two, come, let's go. I said, run.